All right, everyone, welcome to Data with Decision, where we actually create dynamic and interactive dashboards using either Microsoft Excel or Power BI. So today we're going to be creating this particular beautiful dashboard right on your screen. And I'm going to show you every single thing I have done here to achieve what you're looking at right now. So if you want to actually create something as beautiful as this, all you have to do is to stay tuned on this particular channel and watch me achieve this with you. So before we actually come back right here, let us go ahead and take a look at what we're going to look at to get this created. So from your download, you're going to have this particular request for dashboard development of a family finance overview dashboard. So I am not going to read through this particular bunch of text I have right here. Just go ahead and read through it all by yourself to understand it. But I'm going to be showing you every single thing you need to do to achieve this. So here is one of the data sets you're going to be downloading. And the second one is this particular one here. I'm going to show you how to load it and actually have it transformed inside Power Query. And after that, we're going to actually connect our data together from the image down to the fact table, then the date table. So I'm going to show you how to create your own calendar table as well. Then over here is going to be the beautiful dashboard we will create at the end of the whole class. And you're going to see this particular dynamic tooltip that has this animated, chart right here. I'm going to show you every single thing you need to know about this. So let us build this step by step together. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel before now, it is the high time to click on the subscribe button right now. Like and share to your friends and family, and just type thank you in the comment section if you find value from this video. So let us get into the class. All right, let's just go grab the data we're going to be using. Just go over to Excel workbook here. So now navigate to the place you have your data writing. So I'm going to grab this particular personal I think is a personal image right here. So I'm going to just click on open. So click on the sheet 1 here and click on transform data. The very first thing we have to do is to make sure we rename this particular sheet to img for image, right? Beautiful. Name it to whatever you like. So just keep it simple. So the very first thing you need to do is just to click over view, then make sure you turn on this particular column quality for you to see the quality of every single columns, right? So over here, as you can see, empty is 100%, which means there is nothing, valid sitting in this particular column, this one and this one too. So over here, we have 99, empty. We just have 1% valid. So what are we going to do? First of all, click on this one, hold your shift key and click on this particular one here. With the delete key on your keyboard, you're going to have them, gone. So what do we do next? The next thing we have to do right now is to remove the nulls we have right on these particular 3 columns that we have. So click over here, then go ahead and deselect this one. Now click on OK. Okay, I think we are almost there, but not 100%. The next thing we have to do is to promote the header. If you look at the header right now, it's not given. So over here, you can see the header is sitting here and we have column 4 to 6 right here where we are supposed to have our actual headers. So to get that done now, click over here and go over to use first row as headers. And that is actually going to be done for you 100%. So what do we do next? We have to check the data type. Everything is actually good. They are all text. Okay. The next thing is for you to go back to home. And now we can actually choose to use recent sources, or you can actually let us go to new source right here. On new source, click on Excel workbook. So we have used this one previously. Let us go for this particular one. Click on open. Now check this particular sheet 1 and click on OK. The next thing we have to do now is just to name this one fact table, then hit the enter key. So do not bother about this particular, DAX table right here. This is where we're going to store in our DAX. I think you already know how to do this. I'm going to show you how to get it done in case you don't know that. Okay, now quickly we just have to make sure this is actually showing as date, not this time. Then you can add a new step if you like. You can replace the older one. So check around and see if everything looks good. I think for the data type we have right here right now, everything is okay. So we don't need to use the year and the month right here. We can just go ahead and remove them. So once we've done that, we just have to scroll to verify every single column. So over here is 100% empty. So go ahead and remove. Okay, I think we're good to go right now. Everything looks good, perfectly. So we just have to go ahead and click on home. So from home, we close and apply. So now we have the two tables right in here, this one and this particular one. Maybe you're thinking, will be like, when did we get this particular date table right in here? We didn't get it, I created it. I'm going to share the link. I think, should I use link? Okay. I'm going to copy this particular code you're going to be looking at now on my screen, which is this particular one. In the comment section, copy it and paste it by going over to table tools. So you just have to create a new table. Once you create a new table, just paste it in right here. That is all you have to do. It's going to be right there in the comment section. Okay, after you might have done that, you just have to click on your month here. On the month, click on sort by column and sort by month number. You get it right now? So the next thing is for you to go over to table tools and just go ahead and mark as date table. So make sure you choose date. If it is off, you just have to turn it on. Choose date here. That will actually validate it successfully for us. Then click on save. So if you have done this, you're good to go. So let us go over to this particular modeling view here and have this hidden. So automatically it has actually, created our connections for us, but not to every part of it. Okay, I think it does. This one here, we need to connect it. Just click on date and drag date to your date column here inside the fact table. Okay, I think we have, many to one relationship. That is good. Click on save. This is the time for you to go back to the PDF you downloaded for what we're going to cover in this particular, video. Specifically what we need to look at to create the dashboard we are asked to actually create. So once you've done that, just go over to this particular table view and go ahead and click on your fact table right here. So study it and see all the columns that we have right here. So our main concern right now is going to be this particular type right here. So what we're going to do with this, we just want to create a particular measure that calculates the total income and total expenses. So how do we go about that? Let's go quickly over here. And now we have this particular DAX table. It's blank right now. Right click on it and create a new measure. Okay, let us call this one here total income equals. So what we're going to do right now is to actually use this sum function for the first time. Let me use the sum function. So with the sum function here, we're going to actually evaluate to this amount column. So the amount column is where the income and the expenses, are being recorded into. If I close and hit my enter key right now, this will give us an aggregation of this particular column called amount. So we can actually drag it in here. So this is what we have. So you might want to look at the whole value by going over to this particular part here. Then you just have to select this. So here we go. So to format it now, you just have to bring up your measure again. Click on the measure, you're gonna see this. So select the dollar, number formatting. It depends on the country you're actually analyzing for, if you're actually working as a freelancer. So over here, put 0 to take up the decimal place. All right, this is what we have. We have $3.1 million. This is both expenses and income. It doesn't make any damn sense. We're just trying to calculate for only our income. So what do we do instead? We just have to come over here and shift enter tab key to indent it. So we do calculate, then shift enter again to make our code to look clean. So now we're actually going to recalculate this particular value and only keep what belongs to income and expenses to expenses. So if I put my comma right here, it's asking me for filter, just what we have right here right now. Shift enter again. Now for the filter, it's gonna be type. So just go to type and find if we have income. So income should be like this, close, shift, enter again. Then if I hit my enter key, I have just created for income. Here we go, just 1.8 million. So do you see that right now? This is the income we have actually generated. For we to now calculate our total expenses, we don't have to do something magical again. Just go ahead and Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy, and over here, right click and new measure. Then we're going to paste this one in. Once we've done that, we just have to change this income to expenses, this one to expenses. But what if we do it just once without doing it individually? So just click on any one. If you like, you can actually highlight it or just click while your cursor is blinking, Ctrl Shift L. L for likes, just like the video. I have just said it right now. Okay, now we just have to type in here expenses. If I hit my enter key, this will definitely work like magic. So let us drag it into a new card. And I'm gonna have blank. Yes, blank. That was because my expenses is not expenses. Let us look at it. So over here, if we go to the type, and you can see it's expense, not expenses. So we just flopped. So going over here now, we have to click and take off the S. Once I hit my enter key, it will be updated automatically. So we might want to say it has the actual value without the summary. Just make sure your expenses is clicked on, go over here and have it formatted. Okay, now if you add these particular two values together, it will give you the first thing we had before, which is 3.1 million US dollars. That is what it's going to give to you. So we have just calculated this. The next thing is for we to actually calculate the net income. Should it be net income? Sorry, not net income, the net balance. So how do we do that? Is the most simplest one out of all of the measures going to be creating. So net balance now will be we subtracting the income from expenses. So if I hit my enter key, this will give me my net balance. So we have one more calculation to actually create. And that calculation is actually going to be savings rate. So how do we do that? So for our savings rate is just going to be we using the divide function to divide our net balance now by the income. So if you look at it, I always use this, square bracket. Why not just type in total? That was because if I just type in T, it will list all the functions that starts with T. If I put O, it will actually bring TO function. So to avoid searching for your measure, we just square bracket to give you the list of measures you've created without mixing it up with other functions. So I'm going to type in here total income, then shift, enter, close. This is all you need, right? So I'm not going to display this right now. So we've just, created the KPIs we want to actually use for the time being. So we have 4 different KPIs right here. All right, everyone, at the end of the class, this is what we are actually going to achieve, something as beautiful as this. So from this particular same data we have right here, we can actually create from it 2 more dashboards. And I will be creating that if you actually want me. Just go ahead and type in the comment section, continue. And I'll be creating, savings and balance tracker, personal income dashboard for every single person's right in here. So if you want that, just type in the comment section, continue. And don't forget to subscribe, share to your friends and family, and like the video. So let us get back into the class. Okay. We just have to choose the right visual for it, the right card. So if I go over here, I'm going to select this particular new card. You should have it. Then stretch. So we have expenses now. Take off expenses and bring income to start first. Secondly, we're going to use the our expenses, and now net balance, and finally we're gonna go with savings rate right here. So you get it right now? This is what we have. So we have 4 measures in here, but we're only seeing 3. So what do? Let's format it. Click over the measure again, sorry, the table rather. Now go over to format and we go for our colored value. Is that? No. Layout. On that layout, we just have to choose 4 instead of 3. And we have all of them right here. Okay. So the formatting is not going to be our focus right now. We're going to format this once we are actually done creating all the visuals we actually need. We make our dashboard to look very beautiful. So for now, we have all the KPIs we want to use. So one more thing to do before we actually start something different is for we to format this particular savings rate here by percentage. So the visual you have just looked at is actually showing based on start of month. I just want to make you understand what start of month looks like before we actually delve into it in detail. So over here, let us go ahead and create a table like this. Now we have a table here. In this particular table, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in the month over here. So I have the month. You can bring in any measure of your choice. Let us go to the DAX and bring in maybe net balance for now. Sorry, let's go for total income. So next again is a way to go ahead and crank up this to like 16. All right, so once we've gotten this formatted, quickly copy and paste it down. You just have to know the behavior of start of month from month before you to know why we are using it. So I'm going to keep this over here. Instead of me to actually use the month here, I'm going to go over to month and swap it for start of month. So here we go. We have this. So we're not done. Select a slicer and bring in the year from your data. Let's go with this one. Okay, now we have the 2 years of data that we have right in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is just to click on 2024. And let us look at the behavior of what we have on the screen. So over here, we are looking at our value by month. So right here is by start of month. So if you look at the value we have right here, it is the same actual value we have right in here. And the grand total looks exactly the same as this one. So what is now the need of we using start of month instead of month, or of we using month instead of that start of month? Okay, let me show you. So what if I deselect everything here? So we have longer lists of what? Of this particular table right here. We have the short form. So previously before now, we were able to actually say this particular one was actually the same exact thing we find here. But this time around is different entirely. So what is going on? So when we say start of month, it means every single, value from the first day of the month down to the last day of the month is going to be accumulated to the first day of the month. So like here right now, there is no filter, placed right here. We did not place any filter right. So if we now come over here, what we are looking at, which is this particular value, has to do with, both years, 23 and 24. So over here now, we have 23 splitted on its own. So we have to scroll the way down to see, for 24. So it starts from here. So if you accumulate this particular two together right now, it will give this particular value. So you might not know how it looks or how it works until we actually use a visual to do this instead of a table. So now I've just shown you the behavior should you don't know about this before. So let us get into work. So getting back here right now, I want to select a line chart. So with my line chart here, I'm going to select month for the time being. So we have month. So I want to go with total income. Total income looks like this. So for you to understand it better, we can actually go ahead and clean up this particular chart. Title should be turned off. We can crank up this a bit. Nicely done. So go to the y-axis and turn off the title, then turn off the value. We don't need it. Okay, now this is actually aggregated on a monthly level. So we can see what is going on in May, in April, down to December, from January. So what if I change this to start of month? So go over here and select start of month. So we have something different. So the zigzag of the chart is now the main thing here. The main thing here is that we are looking at the 2 years data. If you have 5 years data, the 5 years data will be shown to you. So what happens if I give you a focus mode? You're going to have something like this. Hover over here, it gives you the first day of the year and the first month of the year and the first day of that particular month. So if you come over here, it's not showing on the x-axis, but when you hover over it, it gives you that 1st of February, now 1st of March, 1st of April, 1st of May, and all of that. So it's going to be stopping at a particular spot where the year has ended and to pick another year, all of that. So it's very interesting to actually use this for your work. So what I'm going to do right now is to actually compare income and expenses. It looks like this, but right now I hate this chart like this. So let us do some cleaning before we move further. So the reason why you normally see me collapsing my, format several times is that if I have opened a lot of, thing here and I've used it, for me to close them back, it's going to take a lot of time, right? Just collapse and bring it back. So everything gets closed for you. Okay. What do we do right now? So for the legend, we want to keep the legend, but not with the title. So let's quickly go ahead and turn off the title of the legend. Nicely done, right? So we're going to forget about the color for now and focus on how we can make it better. Let's go to the line. On the line, we scroll down. We're just going to go over to linear and select smooth line. So make sure when doing this, you actually select all right here. Otherwise, it's going to be applied to the one that is selected. If you select a particular one here, it should be applied to that one. So now we have applied it to all. Okay, what do we need to do right away? So if you scroll down, you're going to see here, it says shade area. So it looks awkward. I don't like this. Just click on the shade area and let's quickly go straight up down to here. And let us keep this at 90% if I'm not mistaken. So at 90. So very calm. So when we start using the right color for this particular, dashboard, you're going to see how it will pop out. Okay, now we have this. So we're going to have something like some couple of KPIs right here as well. So what we want to have here is going to be the average monthly income, average monthly expenses, and net balance. So how do we do that? It's something very simple. Let's just quickly create it by doing new measure again. So now we're going to be going a little bit advanced with our project here by using variable. That helps us to actually avoid creating multiple measures just to actually achieve one particular thing. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to call this one AVG. So that's going to be average monthly income. Okay, now equals, shift enter. So what I'm going to do right now is to create a variable. I'm going to call this one underscore income. So what I'm going to do now is to actually make sure I bring my income from the measure I have created before, total income. Shift again, enter. And right here, we're going to create another variable again. So this time around, we're going to do variable active month. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So underscore active month equals, shift enter. So using the calculate function now, so we're going to be calculating the numbers of month. So using this distinct count. So count how many months we have. So there are some months that are not complete. We just want to keep it at how many months. If we have a particular year that we just have, maybe we're just in the third month of the year. So we're not going to be doing our division to calculate our average by 12. It's going to be by 3. So once we actually enter into the 4th month of the year, it's going to be by 4, by 5, by 6, down to 12. So we have to make it dynamic. That is why I'm doing this right now. So with the distinct count, I'm going to count the month. So close and comma. So over here right now, we're going to be using the filter function. So with the filter function, the filter will filter the facts table. So now the next thing I'm going to do is just for me to go to my amount column and make sure I say if it is greater than 0. So which means it only returns to me a particular amount that has values. So any month that is not actually in the list of the months that has have values is going to actually truncate it for me. That is how it works. I've made a video about this. Maybe you might want to take a look at how this works. So shift, enter, close, and finally we close for calculate. So we have just done this right now. This is going to return a unique month. So if you want to take a look at the results, shift, enter again. So instead of us to actually return and divide, so we just do return here and we return our active month. So if I hit my enter key, so the active month now should be 12 for the year we're going to be selecting. Let us go ahead and select this average here. So it's giving us 12. So I'm going to shock you right now for you to know how dynamic this looks. Let us go over for this and we go for month. So for this particular month we have went for now. We just want to make sure it's a slicer. So here, if I select this, let's see what happens. It's giving me 1. If I hold my control key to multi-select, it's giving me the count of it. So this is actually possible because of the kind of function we have actually used under the calculate function here. We made it dynamic. You got it right now? So the next thing we're going to do right now is just for me to make sure I some kind of use divide function. So what did I do? Take off this. So divide now. So we're going to be dividing our underscore income by underscore active month. So we just have to go ahead and close. This is actually how to calculate average monthly income. So it's something that is very deep. You need to understand this. Otherwise, it's going to give you something weird. So I never knew this until I actually worked for a particular client that was actually asking me to calculate the average monthly, view. I think we were dealing with websites, analysis. So average monthly view. And a particular year was not yet completed. I did it by 12, which was some kind of static. So when he looked at it, he was like, this average is not exactly what I should have. So I was now like, okay, what happened here? Oh, this is not actually a complete month for this year. So what do I need to do? I just have to some kind of look for how to make it dynamic. And that was how I actually came up with this particular idea to calculate the dynamic month that we have in a particular year. Okay, don't forget to actually sign up for my course in case you're looking forward to learning Power BI and Microsoft Excel at the same time. From elementary level down to advanced level, it's going to teach you everything you need to know to start thinking like an analyst. So let us get started again with the average monthly expenses. So all you have to do is to make sure you copy this here. So once you've copied this right now, we just have to go ahead and create a new measure. So we're just going to make a single change, just once. So here is income. We have income appears in 2 places. So Control Shift L. So it's going to be expenses. Like this. That is all. Just hit the Enter key. So we have one more to go. Right click again and new measure. We have already copied. We're going to actually paste in here. So here now, this one, Control Shift L. So we type here net balance. So net balance is not total net balance. Just take off total from here. And we are good to go. If I hit my Enter key right now, this is all we need to calculate to actually get the next KPI. So here we go. Delete this one from here for now. So we have value here. We just want to go for this same kind of card, which is this new card here. For now, I told you, forget about the formatting. Let us quickly just go ahead and add up the remaining one. So here is income. So here comes our another one. That's going to be our I think expenses, now net balance. So stretch it and just keep it over here. All right, everyone, we have actually done justification today. So what is next? So if you look at this particular part right now, it's okay. It works fine, but what you're looking at is not actually much more insightful. So what we want to have is that when we hover over this, we want to have a tooltip, and that tooltip should actually be dynamic. How do we go about it? To create a custom tooltip, all we have to do is to actually add a new page. So we can name our page anything we like. Tooltip 01. So we're going to be having more than one tooltip. So on this particular tooltip here, what we're going to do is just to go over to here. And now we have the canvas background. We're not going to go there. Let's go over to page information. And from here, from standard, choose tooltip. So once you've done that, step off and step into canvas settings and choose custom. So right now we have to customize the size of the canvas of our tooltip. So what I'm going to do right now is to some kind of use 351, which is 351 by, let's do it by 366. So this is the size we just want to go for. Okay, so now quickly we just have to create some couple of KPI card as well here. So if we go back right now, when somebody hovers here, what we want to see is total income, total expenses, and as well, we want to see the balance. You see that now? So if you look at this right now, we're only seeing two. Now we're adding one more, which is the balance. So going back over here now, we just have to add the same kind of KPI card, which is the newer version of it. Okay, so once we have it here, we can resize it to fit what we want. Resize it like this. So now go over here and bring in your total income and now expenses and net balance. Okay, so let us quickly go over to this and let's choose 20, for instance. And this averages here, we just have to scroll down and go to label and scroll all the way down to reduce it. Let us choose 8. Quietly okay, right? So right now, everything is not actually showing up very well. So, oh, sorry, my bad. We're not supposed to be using the average ones here. We're going to be using the real ones, not the average. This is not why we created this. Let us go over to total income, total expenses, and net balance. So if we go over here now, here we go. We have all of them here. So right now we just have to go over to call out value. So once you actually have it clicked on, we can't do what we're about to do right now under all. We have to be specific on the one we want to actually format. So choose to go for none. Then do the same thing for this particular expenses. Choose to go for none. Finally, we do for net balance and choose to go for none. Okay, so now let us reduce this to maybe 15. So if we do that now, it's actually going to apply to everything. So you can actually go, or to just one rather, go for all and now 15. This is great, right? So our net balance is not well formatted. We just have to go over here and say no decimal number. Okay, that is great. So for now, I told us we don't have to, do too much for the designs. We just have to just make sure we just create something that is functional, that works. Next, right now, we just have to actually create a particular table, not just an ordinary table. We just have to be some kind of specific about the table. So the table is going to be here. It's hard for you to see the kind of chart I'm about to create right now, but I'm going to share the link, the code with you guys. Just download it from, you have it already if you have gotten a data set. So just open it up and copy it. So right away, I'm going to go over to my image. This is when we have to use our image. So IMG here, if I actually drop it in, this is what we have. What the heck? So what do you think is going on? Over here now we have the issue of what we call data type. So the data type here shouldn't be what we're looking at. So let us go to the image here. It's text. Check it out, text. So what should we do? Go to uncategorize and switch to image URL. So this time around, if we go back over here, we should be good to go. So now, here we go. So what is going on here is not actually coming up. So we have issue with the internet connection. We just have to make sure we are connected to the internet to use this. So let me do the connection. So now we can just wait and see what is going to happen. So we are now connected to the internet. If it doesn't work, yeah, it's working 100%. So now we have all our images right up. So the image size is going to be controlled. Let's quickly go down. Image size and is on 75 by 75. Let us do 51. 51. I think it's okay. 51 by 51. Looks quite okay. Can do by 57. Let's see. Okay. 57, that shifts it to the right hand corner. So once we have done this, now we just have to click over here and now double click on this particular part and just put a dot. We don't want to have the name. The next thing now is to actually have the names by clicking on this particular person here, and we have the names right in here. So we can change this one to names. So this wouldn't affect the original, column right here. It's just going to affect what we see on our visual. So now we just have to go to the DAX area and bring in our total income, total expenses, and net balance. You see this right now? So the values here are too huge. We just have to control it as well. So let's quickly go over here and we click on values. Let's go for 8. That reduces it a bit for us. So we just have to go back over here. So we don't have to keep total for all of them. So take off all the totals and just have income. Under here, we just want to have expenses. And over here, not with net, we just want to have balance. So this way. So for the grand total, we don't need it. We just have to turn the grand total off. So we just have to go for total. So let us keep this particular value at 8 or 7. Use this space for something else. So we just have to go over to here, these 3 dots here, go to edit query. So once we are here, we just have to click on this, go over to home. From home, click on split column and by delimiter. So the spaces for delimiter, you just have to click on OK. So names. Whatever you want to name it, it's all your choice. So now I have my names here. We just have to go ahead and load this back. So now, if you look at it, this is actually not giving us what we are looking for to see. Just click on fix. That will take off the names away. So bring back the name here So this time around, we just have to move it here. So here we go. We have something like this. So right now we can control the space we have right here. So, okay. It is time for we to create a particular animated chart you saw during the introductory part of this particular video. It's something very simple. You don't have to write a single DAX code to get that done. All you just have to do is to actually, give it the right measure. So I'm going to go over to my DAX measure, right click and new measure. So go ahead and copy this particular code here and paste it right in. So you're going to see over here where it says your measure in percentage here. So just highlight this particular area. Please follow me accordingly. Otherwise, you're going to have an error. Highlight this particular environment here. Once you have done that, take it off. So you now have nothing there. And bring in your savings rate percentage here. Then make sure if it is not on savings rate percentage or savings percentage, just make sure it's actually on it. Name the measure, this particular current measure, anything you like. So I've just named my PCT savings. So you can leave a comment here with dash. So PCT means percentage. So all your choice. So if I hit my enter key right now, we have created a particular chart that is not a default chart inside Power BI. So let us go over to here. And now we're going to bring in our PCT savings right here. So what's going on? It's not working. Okay. Let us select this our PCT here and go to uncategorize and try to change it to image URL and see if this will work. So now if we go back, it's working 100%. So you might not feel it right now, but you will definitely do that. So let us quickly go over to the column header and push it to 9 or 8. So that reduces it and give you something like this. So for the formatting, we're going to take care of that very soon. Let's quickly go to this particular page. So now if I hover over here, nothing happens. So click on the line chart. Let's go back to properties. And now we click on tooltip. We now select our new tooltip, which is this particular one. So guess what? If I hover over it now, I have this. Can you see now? So the color here shows that this particular, John here has more savings, low and very low. So it depends on the month you hover over on. So if I hover over this particular month right now, this is what we have. But now you can see the color is changing. There is something crazy happening right now. We just have to be sure of which particular, month we hovered right on. That is where we have to actually write a DAX that controls that for us, because right now we might not know what analysis we are looking at on the tooltip. Okay, let us go back to our tooltip. Right click on the measure area, DAX table, and create a new measure. This time around, we want to look at what is selected, like what we hovered on. Let us go back, just cancel it if you have done this before now. So let's quickly go back here. So on the x-axis here, we have start of month. Whenever we hover on a particular month and year. So, but we can't see that reflect on our tooltip, and we want to see that because it wasn't a default thing to actually happen on our tooltip. But whenever we hover, we want to see what particular month and what particular year. So if we go over to here, you can see we have start of month, which is this particular code right in here. So it actually generated a particular column for us. That is what we're going to use right now. So let us quickly be on this particular view. And right now we can go ahead and right click and new measure. So what we're about to do is to say if the x-axis is actually active, which means if we hover over on our line chart and the tooltip pops, we want to see where we actually hovered on. So over here, I'm going to do title tool tip. Okay. What I'm going to do now is just some kind of say selected value. So start of month, then you close it. Will this make sense? No. We're going to be using this for something very important. So in that case, this is not going to work, but don't worry. Let's just look at what is going to happen. If I just go ahead and hit my enter key and try to bring this into my tooltip and see what we are going to see when we get to Power BI. So for now, I'm just going to make it smaller. Don't keep this on focus for now. We're going to actually affect it later. So let's just quickly go to title, tooltip here. So we have this. I'm going to keep it at 20. Okay. So let's go to the category label and turn it off. So now get back in here, hover. So what do you see? You see this not well formatted, but it got it right. You understand? November 1st, 2023. If I come over here now, this gives me what? Can you see it now? The same November 1st, 2024 is what we have right here, different here. So what we want to get out right now is going to be this particular part right here. We don't want it. So now, is there any way for we to actually go ahead and click on this and have it formatted through here? So let's just try it and see. Shut. So if I hover over it now, this is what I have. So this is actually working for me. So we are able to actually format it and give us something like this. But the question is this, does this still make a lot of sense? No. It does. Yes, this is the kind of formatting we want, but we don't want it to be like this. We want to actually add income versus expenses that we have on our chart, right? So getting back in here right now, we need to further, get this done. So over here, I'm going to actually save this on variable. So I'm going to call the variable underscore active stm, start of month. So equals. Okay. Once I've done that, the next thing I'm going to do right now is going to be, I think it's going to be return. So under return, we want to use the if function to say if underscore active start of month is not blank. Then if that is the case, what we need to do is just to say format. We're going to format our start of month. So format underscore this, put a comma here to format it. Now we're going to do D for day, then slash MMM for short month slash YYY into 4 places. Then you close. So we close our parentheses for our format. So once we have done that now, the major reason why we are here is this. So we're going to actually put an ampersand here. So inside double quotes, we just have to say income versus expenses. So we just have to close our if. And if I hit my enter key right now, this should give us something much more better. So we wouldn't see anything good here. Just go over to the page and now hover. So everything comes together. That's crazy. So we just have to reduce this. The spacing is not really given. We just have to go back to here and give a space here. So if I hit my enter key right now, I can go over here and hover. So now this is better. So the next thing we have to do is to make sure we reduce the size, and we have to be right here to get that done. So we'll reduce this particular size right in here. So let's go over to 16, right? So if I hover now, that is beautiful. So now it's not looking good at all. We're going to format this, but let us focus on what is next for we to actually create before we can actually go ahead and do the formatting. So we want to create the year by expenses and income. So income, expenses. So we have this here. So if we go over here now, we have this particular one called year. If I actually do this, it's going to give me something like this. That was because the year is actually number. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Going over here now, click on the dates table. So if you look at this particular year, it's actually giving us number. So I now created another one that has Y on it, Y for year. So this is now a text. Guess what happens if I go over here and select this one? I have this, right? So once I have this now, it's a chart. I don't want this particular chart. I'm going to go with this particular stacked bar chart, and we have something like this. Okay, now we can do cleaning, but for now, I'm just going to keep it this way. Okay, we are now going to be coming to the final part of this particular dashboard where we have to write another DAX that will actually further automate something for us. So the kind of chart I'm going to be creating right now is going to be this very chart I really use. So here we go. This decomposition tree here, right? So what do we want to have right on it? That is what's important. So over here, we want to have what I call selected month. So sorry, selected measure rather, selected measure. So first of all, I'm going to have in here name of account owners or whatever. So don't worry about this. No field to analyze. That is not a problem. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is to actually add category. So we just have to go into our facts table right here and select category. Then let's just go to type, and maybe you want to go for recurring right here. Okay, once you've done this right now, the next thing you have to do is to go over to the DAX area. So we're going to keep income here. So this can quickly be analyzed by clicking over here. Then we want to analyze this based on name. Once you click on it now, it's going to give you all the names of people that actually participated in this particular personal expenses dashboard. So now you can actually hover or just click on this particular one and say you want to look at it based on category, and you have this. So it's a highlight. Mary here has more, income coming from rental income, investment return, gifts, consulting, salary, and freelancing. You understand? So you might want to go ahead and say you want to do it by month. So there is no month here right now. If I click on it, there is no month for me. So what I'm going to do right now is to go quickly over to my, date table and bring in the month into here. So we might want to go over to consulting and break it down by month. So now you have this. So this is what you have. Okay, so we are actually doing this based on income. What if we want to do this based on balance and as well based on expenses? So how do we go about that? It's simple and easy. So we don't have to actually cram everything right in here. I'm not sure if it's going to allow us. So let us quickly add one more measure. So, and that measure again. So we have all of them here. I can quickly go over here now and say, I don't want to have the category. I want to break this down based on, so I can't find it, right? This is where the complexity sets in. So we have to customize what we want to see based on a particular DAX. So before we do that, let us quickly go over to modeling here. From modeling, go to this particular new parameter. And over here, we're going to select the field here. So while you're on field, we're gonna just keep this one at select third measure. Then go over to this particular tax table, and we're gonna go for income, expenses, and net balance. So to keep it simple, just double click over here and take off total away from here. Then don't hit the enter key, just double click on this particular one, take off the total, just double click on this one, then take off the net. That is all. So make sure this particular one is being checked for you to actually have a slicer. So click on create. So we can step off from here, and now we have something like this. So nothing will happen right now because we have not integrated it into this. So click on this particular part here. Once you've done that, let's quickly go over to this particular total income and now search for our new table, selected measure, and click on this. So now we can switch between expenses, down to income, back to balance. It's all our choice. So I told us that we're going to be writing DAX. DAX will actually help us to change color. If we are looking at expenses, we want to see red. If we're looking at income and balance, we want to see a green color. That is exactly what we want to see. Okay, I think that will actually mark our beginning of using the color we want to use for a dashboard. So we just have to look at which particular color we want to use for this particular project. I hope you're actually enjoying this, right? We want, whenever we actually click on expenses, to see red, right? Green and green. So how do we customize that? First of all, you will have to go over here and take a look at what is going on the new table we just actually added, right? So here we go, we have selected measures. So for the selected measures here, if you look at it, we have this. Income has 0, expenses has 1, balance has 2, and this is the order. So we're going to use this now to customize the color we see. So if you're going to forget the numbers, just go ahead and Ctrl A, Ctrl C to copy. So step out, and inside here, we're going to create a new measure. So we're going to call this measure, let's just call it CF Decomposition 3, wherever it is. Okay, so I'm going to paste this over here. Once I've done that, I'm going to actually highlight and Control/. That comments everything out for me. So we're going to start the real work here now. The actual work we're going to do right now is to create a variable. And this variable, we're going to name it, let us name it active selected measure. So equals. Okay, so we're going to do selected value here. So for the selected value now, we're going to select the order, like order. So here is the selected measure order. That order has to do with 0, 1, and 2 right here. So once we've done this now, we just have to go ahead and close, Shift, Enter. Now we can return. So under return now, we're going to use, let's go with if function. Then we're going to use nested if, or we can use switch function. Let us go with if, it's simple. So we're going to say if underscore here is equals to 0. Then what we want to actually have right here, so it's going to be I inside double quotes, I for income. So if again underscore selected value is equals 1, then that is going to be E for expenses. So I think right now it's going to be otherwise. Then that will be B for balance. Okay, we have to close 3 good times. Oh, sorry, 2 good times, right? So here we go. We have actually created a code that will actually allow us to, give it the kind of color we actually want. Next thing we have to do is to quickly go back to the chart itself and select this particular chart right here. Once we've done that, we're going to see over here it says conditional formatting. Then scroll down, particular data bar color. So once we've done that, it's going to actually give you something like this. So select the FX here. Under the FX, select the field value, and over here you're going to select CF, and our CF should actually be, I think it's going to be CF decomposition tree. Or still, we can just step off, step back in again, and we just want to go over to the DAX. I think all data. Yeah, here is DAX table, and we're going to locate the CF we've just created for decomposition. So here we go. Do I need to use the field value? No, let's just go for the rows. Beautiful. We want to add, I think, like 3 of them. So we're going to say is, it's a text base, is I. So if it is I, what is I? I is income. Income should be green. That is what we need to do. Income should be green. So what kind of green do we want? I've already selected my color. So let's just go over to more colors here. And my color code is 103B2A, which is 103B2A. So you might want to copy this particular kind of color here and keep it somewhere. It's very important. So as for this one here is E for expenses, and B for balance. So for expenses now, I'm going to go with this particular color, then come back here and select the same color that we have used over here, and now click on OK. So let's just see what happens if I click on expenses. No, it's not working. Then let's just quickly go over to our DAX, which is CF. So I for income, E for expenses, B for balance. Let's get back. So click on it. As for balance, balance is not working as well. So what is going on? This should work. So click on it and let's see. Let's find out. We just have to make sure we turn on for expenses. Here we go. Then we just go ahead and do for expenses. So we just have to do the same exact thing we have done. Select here. So over here, we just want to go ahead and go to DEX and CF. We can do the same exact thing. So is I, is E, and is B. Then for the I, we just want to go ahead and paste the color we've just copied at a time. Then over here, select this one, select the same exact color. Now click on OK. So your expenses actually comes this way. So if I select income, I have income on green, expenses on this color. Now balance is on the default color because we have not set for balance. So click on balance here. Scroll down, is selected, click on this, and FX here. So quickly, we just have to go to this here. We just have to go over DAX and this. So we add 2 more. So it's going to be I, then E, and B. So for the I, we just have to keep it consistent with the same kind of color. So for this one, it has to be this. For this particular one, the same green color. So if I hit my enter key, here we go, we have it. So can you see how easy it is right now? All right, it is time for we to actually start formatting this particular, dashboard and make it much more stand out. So what we're about to do right now is go into the sketching I have already, created for this project. So as you can see, we have this simple sketching here. You can do this on your paper or on any plain paper or any paper at all you can actually use. And we're going to follow this to create our background inside PowerPoint. So what I'm going to do now is just for me to that is your Windows key, Shift and S will help you to actually capture a screenshot like this. So we've taken this particular screenshot from here. Now we are on PowerPoint. Take off this particular part. So once you've done that, now the next thing you have to do is to just go ahead and Ctrl D to duplicate this. So on the bottom one, paste this one over here. So this is going to actually serve as a guide to get what we want created. Okay, the very first thing we have to do is to right click. Over here, go over to Format Background. So now that we have this, now we can move it anywhere we like. We can keep it anywhere. So now the next thing we have to do is to make sure we are clicked on this canvas here. Then click on this particular part and choose this first one here, this very one. Okay, it has changed the color for us. The next thing we have to do is just to go all the way back to this. So this is just a sketching. It does not have any design. The design will not come out from here, but we can actually create our own design ourselves. So what do? Go back here. Now click on Insert and go over to this particular shapes. From shapes, we just have to pick this particular rounded corner, drag it down. So I'm going to shift it to this particular end. So create a space at the top for my title. Sorry, I think, my dashboard title should be up here. So stretch it to this particular end. So now, once you're cool with this, you are okay. You can actually change the color. But before we do that, we just want to make sure this particular space here and this space here is actually equal. I can actually do that by going over to Shape Format. And from there, we just have to go to Align. So we have Align Center and Align Bottom or Align Middle. So all this alignment here is what we're going to use. So if I choose middle, it's going to come in the middle. We don't want that. We can Ctrl Z. So let us go with center. That centralizes this and give us the equal space we have right here. So we can reduce the rounded corner a little bit. So now we go over to line. So we want to take off the line. We say no line. And for the color here, we just want to choose white color. But this time around, the color is actually fainting into the main background. It's not popping out. So what can we do? We just have to go over to Effect right here. Go to Shadow. From Shadow, we just have to click on this and choose the one that has Offset Center. So now it has stepped off from the background, but it's not looking better. So click back on it and go over back here. So let us go straight up to, we're going to reduce this to 90. So let's see what it gives us. So this is not bad at all. This looks very okay. So the next thing we're going to do right now is to just go ahead and reduce it one more time. So we are using 90. We can do 95. That is better. So click on this one and have it duplicated. This one you have duplicated now. We are going to remove that particular effect out of it. So click on this particular no shadow. So once you've done that, reduce it. So make it something smaller like this. Okay, this is for a reason. So I'm just going to click on this one and shift it a little bit here like this. So now we have this. We're going to change the color of this particular one here. So now we go over here. We choose to go with this one, more colors. So on this one here, click on custom and we can fill in the RGB right here. Let us do 230. So we do that by 126, then 34. So this is the color we chose now. So here we go. We have something like this. So what we're going to do right now to create our design is to bring this over here. Then aim this particular part here to rotate it. So once you've done that now, you can just bring it out a little bit. So control how this rotation looks. So now send it to back. So here we go. You're going to have something that looks like this. You can control how it looks. I'm going to duplicate this one now. On this one here, I can just take this one and keep it somewhere around here. This time around, I want to go over to this color. So here we go. Send it to back. Now you can manually just adjust it. So bring this one in. We don't want to actually extend outside here. So something like this looks perfectly okay. This is what I want. So although the design does not reflect here, but we just have to create something and be very, smart about it. So we need to create for this particular one now. All we have to do is to get this one here, duplicate it, and bring it down. Once you have that done, just go ahead and drag it. Have it somewhere around here. So the rounded corner should be controlled. We don't want it to be too much. Just a little. So we just want to make sure the white space is a little bit wider. Something like this would be okay. So Ctrl D to duplicate and bring this over here. So take this to this end and keep a wider distance, a bit wider, something like this. Now bring this down like this. So duplicate it again and take it up. So you want to make sure we are on the same white space here. Take this up and have something like this. Okay, I think this is what we want to actually have. So the next thing we have to do right now is to make sure this particular part here is what we have over here. So we have to do a little filling. So click on this one and push it in like this. Click on this one. So that will equalize the space we have right here. So this is what we actually want right now. The next thing we have to do is to export this out. If you go ahead and take a look at what we have right here right now, we have gotten the same exact thing created here. So now go to File, go to Export. Now click on Change, and PNG is gonna be cool for me. So now we can just do BG1 and click on Save. Just this one. Okay, so once we have done this, now we can go back to our Power BI environment. So we are back here. The next thing we have to do right now is to go ahead and click on Canvas background. Go ahead and pick it up. Then take this to 0%. So here we go. Let us start our formatting from the top right here. So click on this card, and now we go over to this particular size and style. Then we'll turn this off. So we quickly go ahead and go to card. So on the card area, we turn the background and as well the background and the border rather off. So once we have done this now, the next thing is for you to go to the callout value here. So if you have it on all and you do 25, so nothing happens. Oh yeah, it worked 100%. It works now. So this is what we want. We can just go ahead and do something like this. Then do this. Okay, this is not looking pretty. It's just too flat. So what can we do? we can actually add some couple of icons to this. How do we go about that? There are several icons you can actually use. You can use icons from online, like go to Google and search for flaticon.com. I already have my icons and I'm going to use the icon right here, right now. So let's go ahead and bring up the icons we're going to be using for this project. So make sure you click on the card here and go over to images. Once you're on images, click on the first one. Here under all, you click on income and turn the image on. Then you click on browse. So here we have icons here. So the icon I want to use for this one now should actually be something that has to do with this very one here. I think let's go with this one. Money. So this is going for total expenses. It's going for total income, but it's floating to the right hand corner. So what we can do right now is to actually go ahead and make it switch. So go to the left. That is beautiful. So for the spacing, we're going to keep 20. No, that is not spacing. This is actually the size. Let's keep it at 60 and let's see how it looks. So 60 looks okay. So if you don't want to overshadow the main value here, all you have to do is to use the transparency feature you have on it. Do you have it? Yeah, I think we do. So you can just go ahead and what happens? So take it back to 60. Okay, for the transparency, reduce it a little bit. So something is taking this back to 30. Okay. Space between image. Oh, sorry. Space between image should actually be just maybe 30 looks okay. Now the actual size is going to be 60. That is beautiful. Now we have it. So you can control the transparency by sliding this. The rest, you understand? I think this looks okay, right? It depends on the harshness of the color of our icon. So we have done this. The next thing we have to do right now is to go all the way up, click on colored value. So make sure what is selected here is total income. Once you've done that, go down until you can see this display unit and choose none. So we want to show everything. This is cool, right? Okay, here we go. So if we go down again to the image, we click on expenses. So we turn this on, we go over here and browse. So our expenses should actually be something that carries red spending. So here we go. We have this. We just have to float it. You know the drill. We float this to the left-hand corner. So once you've done that, you just do 20 here, or 30 rather. 30 here, and over here, we go ahead and do 60 to see what it looks like. That is beautiful. So on 60, it looks okay. So maybe it's too far away from the actual value. What we can do right now is to reduce this one to like 10. That 10 looks okay. Then we have to make sure we are on the same page with this one here. We're going to do that as well. So the next thing we're going to do right now is just to turn down the transparency. Here we go. We have something like this. So to correct this 1 to 10, we have to change from expenses down to income. So we just do 10. That is cool, right? So now the next thing is for we to select net balance, turn this on. Then we go over to browse. For net balance, we just want to go with this one here. It's something greenish. So we just have to go ahead and do left. So this is okay already. We can just do the transparency. So finally, we want to do for our savings. I think we can go over here and click on savings rate. Turn this on. Savings rate, we actually carry this over here. Then we just have to float it as well. So leave it at that. So here we go. So the next thing we're going to do right now for this and this is for we to go straight up, and from income to expenses, over here we choose none, we choose everything. So now to net balance, we choose none to show everything. Here we go. So our KPI is ready, and this is awesome. Okay, the next one we have to focus on now is this particular one right here. So quickly, what do? Can we click on this one and apply the same exact thing over here? Let's try that. If I click over here and apply this, so we have something like this. Beautiful. It's not bad at all. So we can actually resize this to make sure it actually sits right well here. So here we go. This is cool. So what is not really cool with this right now is that this particular average monthly net balance here is not showing up everything. So we can quickly go over to here now. So instead of us looking at balance, so just try to double click and activate the edit mode. So we're going to take net off, right? So that shows up everything for us right now. So over here, I'm not going to actually bother myself about, icons. I think it's going to be cool like this, but we have to do one thing. We just have to make sure we show all the values, just like this one here showing in K. We don't want that. We just have to be consistent with what we have at the top here. So click on this here, and we have to go straight up to call out values. So once we've done that, we just have to click on income and we switch to none. All right, now we are actually done with this one. The next thing we have to do right now is to make sure this one sits rightly right here. And now we have to deal with the color. So just push it up like this. So as for this one here, the first thing we need to do is to actually, try to format the title. So go to title here, and let us keep the title at 14. It's not bad. So, but the color is not going to be too dark. You just make it a little bit dark, like this one looks calm. That is okay. So this thing here, the legend should be taken to the bottom. So we go for the legend. So we just move it to the bottom center. That is beautiful. Can you see that now? So adjust this one here. And here we go. The next thing we have to do right now is to change the color. How do we go about the color? We go to line. From line, we move down. So you see this particular green we have used over here. If you want to copy this particular green right now, it will be very hard for you to find it if you don't know what you've done. So just go over to conditional formatting here. And we have the green inside our expenses. So go to expenses. Okay, expenses. Let us click over the expenses here. It switches to expenses. That is the red. Now, net income. So here we go. I then click on this. So we don't want to get for red. The red is easy. So click over here. And all you have to do is to copy the color code you have actually used. This one here. Copy it. And here you go, you have copied. So once you've done that, now the next thing you have to do is to go straight up to this particular one here. So now we are on the line, we scroll down, we just go over to, total income. Then once we've done that, go over to here and change the color. The color should be this color here. Can you see it now? So we just change from total income again to expenses. Once you're on that, click over here, click on more. And now, we don't need to click on more. The color is actually something that is default here. Look at it here. Click on this one. So here is our expenses. So we've just formatted this particular card. So the next thing we have to do right now is to go over to size and style and turn up the background as well. You see that right now. Okay. As for this one here, we just have to do the same exact thing we have done. So first of all, we just want to make sure we turn off the axes that are visible right now. So first of all, the y-axis should be gone, right? That is the title. No, let's see. Why am I saying just one? I'm trying to understand something here. Let me just put it at full screen. Okay, the 2 years appeared. No problem. So now here we go. We've turned off the title. Then we go for the legend now. The legend should be pushed to the bottom as well. So we just turn off the title of the legend. Then it should be bottom center. So keep it consistent with this one right here. So once you've done that, the next thing we have to do right now is to go for the x-axis and turn it off. So no values. Here we go. So now, what is not showing up now is the year for this particular one. That is 2023. It's not showing up. Let us find a solution to that. So over here it's showing up, but if I just go ahead and do this now, it's not more visible. So we're gonna look for how to get it. So this is the reason. If it's too shrink, so you just have to make sure you open it up. So what I'm gonna do now is to go over to my size and style and turn off the background. So once we've done that now, what we can see here, there is an adjustment that needs to be made. So quickly go back here and bring this one down, then come over here and adjust this particular one, right? Okay, once you've done that, click on File, click on Export, click on Change File and PNG. So with that now, we can click on this one and replace it. Just this one. Okay, beautiful. So let us swap this for the newer one. So here we go. So now this one can sit comfortably right here. So the next thing we do now is to change the color. So click over here now and go over to your bars. So the expenses here should give us this. And as well, we just go over to the income and we choose to use this. That matches the color we have over here. You have to keep it consistent. We're almost done, as in almost done. Let's keep going. I think we have skipped something. So I am over here. We need to actually make sure this is showing red. Its expenses, this as well is showing red as well. And we need to actually have a divider right here and a divider right here. So this would definitely make sense a lot. So on this particular part, this title here ought to have been okay, but the problem where I have with it right now is that it's not making this particular chart to look better. So let us fix it quickly. So the first thing you need to do is to click over here, then go ahead and open up your format and let's go to call out value. We just have to be specific about what we want to change, expenses, right? So now you scroll down, you choose this particular color here. Beautiful. Do the same thing to this particular one. Choose the expenses part of it and let's go with the same color, or you can click it here. Nicely done. So once we have done this right now, the next thing we have to do is to scroll all the way down. Make sure we are not, okay, yeah, now we are here. So go to cards and on the cards, you scroll all the way down. So you want to go ahead and turn on the accent bar here. Then that will actually be for everything. So we don't want the three of them. We just, I think, do we want the three of them? Nope. It's not necessary. So first of all, let me just go ahead and reduce this all the way up like this. Then this one can actually go closer a little bit. Something like this looks perfect. So now if I click on this now, I want to turn off the one that has the average monthly income. So we just have to click over, go down. So on the accent bar here, once you have it opened, so here we go. There is no way we can choose any option here. So what we can do right now is to go all the way up until we'll find this particular series under apply settings too. So we select income, and I'm going to go ahead and turn off for income. So it's gone. So this one for my average expenses, monthly expenses, I want to go over to the top again. And so expenses here, I'm just going to go down and select this color for it. You see that? So for this one here, I don't want to make sure this looks darker. I would go ahead and select my net balance. So we just have to use this. So now it's calm a bit. So as you can see, it's give us more transformation than what we have before. So over here now, we have total income and total expenses by year. So this is it on the title right here. What we can do is just for we to actually turn it off from here. Now that gives us more room to show this, right? So you can just bring this down a little bit. So what I'm going to do right now is to go over to insert, and here you have the text box here. So on the text box, you want to type in what you really want to actually have. So just go ahead and highlight it. Let's go to 14. Not bad, but it's still huge. So let's go to 12. Okay, this looks perfectly okay. Right. So we can move it and fix it to where we want to actually have it right on. So I want to take off total from it. So income and expenses by year. Reduce it. Something like this looks perfectly okay. Then let us go ahead and turn off the background for it. So now we just have to make sure we take our time to align it properly the way it should be. Okay. Not bad. So the next thing we need to do right now is to turn on the data label. Go over to data label and turn it on. So we just want to actually show everything. This is showing 0.6 million. So go over to the data label and open up the drop down, scroll all the way down to where you have values, right in, and now we just choose to display none. So now we have everything showing up. This is what we have. Can you see it now? So it gives us quick comparison. Okay, now here we go. The next thing is for we to do for y-axis something good, like we go to the y-axis, we crank up the value on the y-axis to show boldly. I don't know, think that is not working. So we can select a bolder font, bolder version of the one we have here. That pops out a lot. Okay, now we have this. I think what will make a lot of sense is floating this particular legend to the left-hand corner to align with this particular title here. So click on your chart and go over to legend, then go to the bottom to the left-hand corner, which is this one here. And that is beautiful. So it looks more better like this. So now let us look at the slicer we're going to add. So we're going to add slicer for the people like that has the account. So over here you have the image, click on name. So doing this is going to give you normal table. So let us go over here and choose this particular list slicer. So you might have restriction using this particular list slicer because we want to actually add images to this. So if you're using anything less than the current month, so what do I mean? Just go over to help, and we need to go over to about here. You can see the version of Power BI I'm using. I'm using the current month version. So if you're using the current month version, it doesn't really matter which year you're watching this particular video right on. If you're using the current month version, it will definitely work. So over here, as you can see, it's August 2025. So you must actually have July to August 2025 in order to use this particular feature here. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to go over to this particular part, go to layout, and how many items do I have in my slicer is 4. So instead of 8, choose 4 over here. And this is what you have. So I don't want to have the title. I'm going to turn it off. So once I've done this now, the next thing I'm going to do is to bring images into it. Very simple, right? So what do we do to bring this particular image in? We have this particular part here where we can actually bring in the column of our image. So here we go. We drag this into here. So now this is how it looks, but it's boring, right? Don't worry, we're gonna fix it. Let us quickly go down to say fifth. Oh no, that is not cool. So what about fill? Too huge. So we're gonna stick to the fill or normal. Normal looks okay. Yeah, this is what I want. But right now we have to flip it. Let us change it from where it is right now to a different side. I am going to go over to, what can I do that? So let's quickly go back to here. And now we just have to find a way. I can't do this. That is not. Okay, I'm going to go over to format. And from format, click on image. And let us look at the state button, normal state here. No. We are looking for how to change it to the, position. We have position. We're going to choose right position. This is great. This is great. So now let us use this particular name here. We're going to use the, I think the one that has the suffix right here. Better. I love this. So now we just want to turn off the background we have right on it. So go over to size and style and turn off the background. So when I make a selection, so you can only tell if there's a selection with this particular, selection dark dot right on it. But what if I want to actually make sure it stands out by actually using this color we have right here for the text? So what do? We select the slicer itself. Then we go back here and now we're going to look at image. Oh, was it image? No, not image. I think it's going to be callout value. So we choose to go for the state at the button. Then the state now should be selected. So we choose here, we choose suffix, which is the one that has, oh no, sorry, this is crazy. I think what we can do right now is just to go over here and go over here. We want to combine this particular two together once more. I'm so sorry. I should have actually have something that will give us that. So I'm going to add a new column here. So how do we get this done? It's very simple. We're going to use calculated column to bring them together. So I'm going to just say, should I say full name? I don't know what to type in. So just type in whatever you think is going to give you what you want. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to just say name. So inside double quotes, space, just put a space. So sorry, concatenate it with this ampersand here, double quotes, close, and now. So here you go. You have actually joined them together again. So this is what we want to use. So we can go back. Right now we want to swap it. So you can come over here, click on this, and choose to go over here. And now we just want to go with the full name we have right here. So here we go. So it is time for you to actually go ahead and change this. Under the callout value, you want to select the button here. Just click on full name. So right now we select selected. So for the selected ones, we want to change the color. Let's go with this, this color here. Right. So let us select a particular one. So here we go, we have it. So when there is a selection, we want the selection to actually be stand out. Can you see it now? So I might want to select a different font. Let us select the bolder font. So we go with this particular one here. Beautiful. So we can reduce this now. So let us have it on 13. So we can actually do on hover. Whenever we hover over this, we want to see some effect right on it. So you can actually increase it. That is what on hover will do. So here you go. Can you see it now? Right. So let us keep it on 13 as well. So this look perfectly okay. So now we have just formatted our slicer and we're going to have it right here. So it's okay. So select it and make sure you adjust it. Nicely done. All right, the next focus we're going to have right now is going to be on this particular one. Remember I said we should actually remove this one here. I think it's back again. I deleted it and I recreated it. That was why. So go over to Format and click on Interactions here. Edit Interactions and you turn it off from here. So go back and take it off again. Then here we go. All right, right now we are going to actually work on this particular one. So let us look at what slicer should be, used for it. So I'm going to go over for this particular button slicer. Yeah, this one looks okay. Then for the button slicer, I'm going to stretch it this way. So first of all, let's quickly go to the format area. And now we're going to turn off the title. No title, right? So we just have to make it this way. Let's just set it right here. Now we can reduce it. So to pave way for the title, we're going to have the chart itself. Then click on the chart and actually align it properly right here. And you're going to bring it down. So remember we have a slicer as in a conditional formatting, so that turns this to red. When we are in balance, we have green. When we are in income, we have green. So if you want to change balance to a different color, you might want to do it. So let's see what we can do. Make sure balance is selected. Go over to this particular chart here, Decomposition, go to conditional formatting. And right now, we just have to select balance here, which is selected already. So click on FX here. So we actually did this by letter, B for balance. So my balance right now should be looking out for a yellow color like this one. Let us test it out and see. So nicely done, right? It's not bad, but we just have to make sure it's more deeper than this. Let's go back here. And now we have to change it by going to more colors. So we can actually change direction. So just take it back a little bit. So we can select this, just any area of your choice. So this looks better. Now we have 3 different colors. For expenses, we have this color. For income, we have green. Then for balance, we have this. So there are more conditions you can actually add to this, but it's all a choice based on what you want, right? So you can actually click over here and have the breakdown by month like this. Can you see it now? So by month. So now this is what we have, but right now this is not really cool. What can we do to make this particular button better? So click on buttons here and scroll all the way down. Then turn off fill, turn off the border. So once we turn off the border and the fill, you can now see the selected one is not actually, on focus any longer. So what we have to do right now is to go over and click on, still be on button here. So now we just go for the state, we choose selected. So for selected, we want to give it the color we want. So for selected, we just want to give it same black color. So selected, no, this shouldn't be here. I think not on the button. This has to do with callout values here. So we change the state. Then we choose selected. So for selected now, we can actually choose the color we want to use for what is selected. We want to use black color, this one here. So for what is not selected, we just go ahead and choose default. So for default right now, we want to gray it out a little bit. Let's go with this particular color. So this one stand out more. I might want to actually make sure I go to selected again and increase it to this 13. You can see that now. So now, whenever there's a selection, you have this. On hover, it's more darker. You can see that now. So this is not all. We just have to quickly go to the button and make another, formatting. So we just have to say selected. We want to go ahead and actually have a border for the selected one, or the accent bar here. Turn it on. So once you have it turned on, it's on the wrong part. It's right here at the edge here. So what we're going to do right now is to actually scroll all the way down. This time around, open up the accent bar here and make sure you choose the bottom. So go ahead and instead of left, which is going to have it on the bottom part of it. So we now have it like this. So you might want to choose a particular color you want for it. If you want black, leave it at black, and let's see what we have. So when I select something here now, you have something that looks like this. If I choose to select this one, I'm going to have something like this. But I think it's some kind of too thick and too, low. So what we can do is to drop the transparency. Let's find out if we are on the selected. So we want to go over to this, and the transparency should be dropped. Can you see it now? Better. So you might want to change the color. Let us go with this particular color and bring up the color of the transparency again to 30%. So here we go. Whenever there's a selection, this is what we have. So here we go. Let us copy this particular, part right here, which is this very one here. So we're going to Ctrl C to copy and Ctrl V to paste. I'm going to bring this one over here. So while we have this one over here, what we want right now is to type in here, I think. All right, everyone. I believe this actually give you an overview of how you can actually create, a dashboard like this. But what am I looking at here that is not giving me joy? Is this particular line that is showing in blue. I think there is a way to make sure this line tallies with the color we have right here. I don't know how to do that any longer, but I'm going to try. Let me show you how we can do that if we succeed. So let's go over to format again. Let's just go to tree. And over here, we just have to work on this particular part. So connector. I think it should be here. Yes, the connector has changed its color, and as well this particular one. You can see where I got that from. I got that from the tree here. You go to connectors and you actually change the color to match whatever you want. So this connector cannot be some kind of dynamic. There is no provision for you to make it dynamic. Otherwise, we would have actually said whenever we are on income, we want to see this color. If we are on this, we want to see this color. Maybe you want to keep it on neutral color. Okay, right now it is time for we to format our tooltip right here. The very first thing you have to do is to click on this particular one. So let us go over to the format area and go to this particular part. So the background here should be changed. Let us go ahead and select this particular color for our background. And once we've done that now, we are just going to reduce the font size from 16. Let us go to like 15. So we might want to go back to here. Here. Then hover over here to take a look at how it looks right now. This is better. So we just have to come back here now. This time around, click on this particular part and reduce this like this. So once you've done that, we want to take this particular one and stretch it up like this. So what we need to do is to go over to here. We have done something similar to this previously in our main dashboard. So we turn off the border, turn up the fill, and we go ahead up to here under the style and size and make sure it's on white. So we want to select white color like this, right? So once we've done that now, the next thing we have to do is to make sure the text pops out. So here we go. We just have to make sure it's visible to us. So what we can do right now is to reduce this. The font size is too much. Let's go over to, I think 13 looks perfectly okay. So right now, this particular net balance is not actually on 13. Let's do this. Okay, nicely done. So we can click on this particular main table here and bring it down to create a space between this. So here we go. So this is not yet done. If I go back to here now, it's looking beautiful, but not so much beautiful, right? So we just have to do some touches on this. So getting back here, we can click on the table itself over here. While we click on the table, we can go over to style and preset. So we're going to select none. So this is how it looks, right? So we can now go over to here and turn off the background. So once we have done that, that is beautiful. So I think we can just step off and click on the main background here. Then over here, canvas background. So the canvas background now, let us choose to use something like this, and the transparency should be dropped down to 0. So we're going to have this color. So right now we can bring this all the way down. So we have something that looks just like this. So if we want to actually have some border around this, we just have to go to grid and we increase this to 2 and we can select a white color for it. And this gives you something like this. Let us go with 3. Nicely done. We have something that looks like this. So we have this particular margin that separates the headers for us. So all we have to do is to go over to here and go to this particular vertical line as well. So that makes it better right now. So the next thing we need to do is the border. So we want to go over here and select any border, maybe border at the top. But I think it's not really necessary. It's not important. So we can preview what we have done by going over here and hover over this. Let's see what we have. So now we have this particular stylish, tooltip right in here. So what about this? This is something very interesting. And I believe this will definitely give you, some ideas on how to quickly format your tooltip. Okay, now we are not done. Let us do one more thing. So we just have to click on this particular part here. What we need to do right now is to actually go over to the callout value. And I'm going to select this particular expenses here. I'm going to change the color of expenses to match what I have on my main dashboard, which is going to be this particular one here, right? So once I've done that now, the next thing I'm going to do, go over to card and scroll all the way down to the extreme end and turn this one on. The next thing I'm going to do right now is to open it up. Before then, let us go to go back up and on this particular series, go to total income and scroll all the way down and turn it off. Yeah, beautiful. So once you've done that now, we can go all the way back here again with get expenses, and I'm going to go straight up down. For expenses, I want to choose the same exact color like this for it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to go all the way back up again. And now we just want to choose for net balance and we select a calm black color. So here we go. This is beautiful. Let us preview this right here. So quickly, this is what we're going to have. So what about this? Beautiful, right? I think this is what you need to do to create something as beautiful as this. So don't forget to actually subscribe if you've not done that. It's very important. And as well, leave a comment. Let me know what you feel about this very dashboard. So one final thing we have to do is to copy this particular part here, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to paste it. And we want to actually create a title for dashboard, and it's going to be right here. So if your client gives you, an icon, this is where your icon should stay, but the dashboard name is always going to be right in here. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to type in here. So if we want to actually put more slicers now, we can actually add our slicer at the top right here. This is all you need to do.